Welcome, wrestling fans, to the second video blog for the Daily Suplex and the Daily Suplex radio show. I am Brian Thomas, your host of the Daily Suplex each and every Sunday on blogtalkradio.com/the Daily Suplex. And today I just wanted to come to you to talk a little quick blog about another book that I read. I've heard nice feedback on the last book review I did, so I figured I just finished another book about a week or two ago. And this one was a very quick read, very good read. If you're a fan of this man, I recommend getting the book. If you're not, it's a fun read to still go through, but isn't as recommended as if you were a fan. And that book is Adventures in Larryland by the one and only living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Now, the interesting piece about this book is that, me being from Minnesota, I grew up on the AWA, and so I had a lot of time to watch Larry Zbyszko wrestle. But this book mainly focuses on his early days, getting started in the business and his major feud with Bruno Sammartino. He devotes quite a few chapters in this book to Bruno Sammartino, who was the original living legend, of course, and is his main mentor in the wrestling business, got him started in the business, got him a good spot in the business as well. So the majority of this book focuses on that. He talks about taking money from the McMahons and how he used a situation in which Vince Sr. basically told him off to pretend to get more money, and it wasn't even his idea. It was Bruno Sammartino's idea, and he talks about how that came about and how he walked away in one weekend, or let's see, 1 month with about $30,000 just for wrestling 3 matches, which back then, if you weren't a main eventer, was pretty much unheard of. So, if you like Larry Zbyszko, I recommend getting this book. Now, moving on, I wanted to talk about a little bit about Total Nonstop Action. Of course, yesterday was the big TNA Genesis pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view of the year, and this is the first year that Genesis has been that feature. Normally, Genesis would take place after Bound for Glory in November, but this year they decided to put it on in January and swap Final Resolution with it and move Turning Point up to November. So, anyway, a lot of things coming out of last night's pay-per-view, most of it behind the scenes, actually. Reports broke last week, of course, that Christy Hemme had suffered a neck injury, and it's a pretty bad one involving some of the discs in her neck, similar to the kind of things that Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, and numerous other wrestling stars have had put out for quite some time. So this looked to be no different. Of course, Kurt Angle went with a totally different procedure and was only out for a few months. Christy Hemme is also trying a different procedure as well, in which they go in and try and realign her spine and improve her posture that may help her in the long run to not take a year off of wrestling from it. We'll have to wait and see if it works out that way. Otherwise, she will be out for close to a year with a surgery that would be required to fuse the neck back in place. That wasn't the only news, though. Christy Hemme, we found out about beforehand. Last night, before the pay-per-view went on the air, a few hours before the pay-per-view went on the air, a lot of info hit the news wires. Let's talk a little bit about that. The first one that hit the news wire was not only was Christy Hemme, who was scheduled to face Awesome Kong for the TNA Women's Knockout Championship, not only was she injured, but we found out that Awesome Kong herself is having an injury, had an injury as well. It sounds like a back problem. Her match was then scrapped. She wasn't going to have to wrestle anyone after that. And instead of the Christy Hemme Awesome Kong match due to injury, they put on a 3-women match instead, a 6 knockout match, which from all reports was not a very good match for the knockouts at all. And that went on in its place, but Awesome Kong did show up at the pay-per-view. She did come down to confront the winner, which of course was ODB last night. So at least she's getting some camera time. She probably won't be in the ring for a little while yet, but she is able to participate in the show, which is a good thing. So that one broke. Another really worrisome report also came out from the crowd that they announced. Kevin Nash apparently has a staph infection on his elbow. Now, Kevin Nash has had staph infections in the past, unfortunately, when his first run with TNA was cut short, as he was supposed to wrestle Jeff Jarrett for the TNA heavyweight title back on a pay-per-view in 2005. Unfortunately, it was scrapped or I'm sorry, it was Bound for Glory 2005, and that was scrapped because he had a staph infection at that time too, and was not able to wrestle. Well, this one is being looked at as a lot more serious, and they're worried that he may have blood poisoning, and so our best wishes go out to Kevin Nash. And, you know, he may be way past his prime in wrestling, and we may make fun of him from time to time, but something this serious is not something to make fun of, and so we hope that Kevin Nash is able to heal up and return to TNA before we know it. So best of luck to him, and unfortunately he was pulled from his six-man tag match. And who did they insert in his place? Cute Kip. That's right. I don't know if they just didn't have enough people there at the time to put on someone better, but Cute Kip was the man who took over. He did what he needed to do in this match, so I'll let you be the judge, but from all I heard, it wasn't a great match as well, unfortunately. I'll tell you what was a good match last night. If you missed it, I highly recommend checking out Angle Jarrett 2. I fully expect an Angle Jarrett 3 after this match, because right now we're at 1 win apiece as Kurt Angle picks up the win in a very bloody match for Jeff Jarrett, as he was busted open with a ring bell to the face. He took a couple nasty falls. There were some really good high spots in this match from both men, and I got to give Jeff Jarrett credit. He's been out of the ring a long time, but the dude can still bring it, and it was really a very entertaining match. Match of the night for TNA Genesis. Runner-up for match of the night for last night's Genesis, another match you should definitely check out if you didn't get the pay-per-view. That is Alex Shelley versus Chris Sabin for the TNA X Division title. A phenomenal display by those two. They really tore the house down, and I gotta give TNA credit for allowing them to do that. And real entertaining match. Highly recommend it. As for the whole pay-per-view, I would say I liked what I saw. That the opening match was fun. Nothing special, but fun, real fun. Sabin Shelley was fun. Angle Jarrett was fun, and a couple matches in between were decent enough to make you wanna, or make you entertained. And I recommend checking out a replay, especially for those two matches, Angle Jarrett and Sabin Shelley, because I think it's worth your buy and your money to go ahead and do that. All right. Any other news coming out of TNA? There was a lot of backlash on the internet for the Sting Rhino match. They built the Rhino storyline all night, basically saying that they couldn't find him, they didn't know where he was. He did come out, he did make his way to the ring, and the match did take place. And by all reports, it was an absolutely horrendous match to watch. Now, just learning recently, the cause of the problem was that Sting is having some major knee issues. He's having pain in his knees. He's not able to move as quickly as he wanted to move, or has moved in the past. And that unfortunately took away from his match, and is bringing up all sorts of talk about maybe this is the time when Sting lays the wrestling trunks down and retires from the ring. Will that happen? We'll have to wait and see. He is the TNA champion right now, and if that's the case, they're going to need to get the belt off him and build someone up as championship material pretty quickly. One question I had last night was, where was Samoa Joe? Samoa Joe was not used in a match on last night's pay-per-view, and I don't believe he was used at all on camera on last night's pay-per-view, which is unfortunate, because Samoa Joe should be the guy that they're pushing to take the title off Sting. Samoa Joe is the guy who lost the title to Sting. He should be the guy who they're looking at taking the title back, and it doesn't look like they're pushing in that direction. So, little thing for TNA to think about. They have a guy that they built up real strong, Samoa Joe. His reign didn't go as great as they maybe thought it would have. Not Joe's problem, more of a booking problem if you ask me. Now's the time to bring back the Monster Joe and get things moving again. Well, that's going to do it for today's video blog for the Daily Suplex. Don't forget to check us out on the radio, blogtalkradio.com/dailysuplex, every Sunday night at 8 p.m. And hey, if you can't catch us live, you can always download us on iTunes. Go to iTunes Store, type in the Daily Suplex, and we'll bring up our subscribe feed. You can download the current show, you can download past shows, and you can subscribe so that every Monday when you get into work, you have a Daily Suplex radio show waiting for your entertainment. It's a great way to listen to us. Hey, I want to thank you for watching today's blog, and we'll catch you again in the archives.